news at talking about fentanyl and overdose prevention. Some local teens are choosing to lead the conversation themselves. How they're doing that tonight. A proposed change to how the federal government awards grants is drawing concern from organizations that depend on federal funding. What you need to know tonight.
Our clouds kept us from really feeling the heat today, but as we head into the rest of the week, I'm still tracking some warm temperatures and a chance for isolated thunderstorms.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan. First up, police say a woman was shot to death this morning in Spokane's East Central neighborhood. It happened at around 1:30 this morning near the 20 block of South Haven. Police are investigating that shooting and they say they believe it was an isolated event and that all the people involved have been identified. The medical examiner will release the name of the victim at a later date, and we'll keep you updated on this case as we get new information. In other news, the Spokane County Sheriff's Office asking for the public's help tonight in finding a missing Spokane woman. 74-year-old Lynn Chamberlain was last seen leaving her house in North Spokane at around 6:30 near East Salts Lane and North Perry Road. Chamberlain is 5 feet 7 inches tall, about 160 pounds, with grayish brown eyes and gray hair. She has also been diagnosed with Alzheimer's and may not be able to find her way home. She was last seen wearing long blue pajama pants and a white sports bra. According to deputies, she left for a walk and has not returned. If you've seen Chamberlain or know where she's at, you are urged to call Crime Check at that number right there at the bottom of your screen. A proposed change to how the federal government awards grants is drawing concern from organizations that depend on federal funding, including Head Start programs right here in Washington. KREM 2's Connor McAvoy joining us live in the newsroom tonight after talking with the leaders of the Head Start program to find out more. Connor?
The Office of Management and Budget has proposed changes to the rules governing federal grants across dozens of agencies. If finalized, the proposal would require senior political appointees to review certain grant awards to ensure they align with federal law, agency priorities, and, where applicable, presidential priorities. It would also expand agencies' ability to suspend or terminate grants if they determine doing so is in the government's interest.
What you don't want is it to be politicized. And whether that's a Republican administration or a Democratic administration, you do not want grants to be predicated based on the political leanings of a person. You want to make sure the best person gets the grant.
Joel Ryan with the Washington State Association of Head Start and Early Childhood Assistance and Education program is against the proposal. The program provides preschool education, health screenings, meals, and family support services for low-income children. Ryan says about 80% of the program's fundings come from federal grants and worries the proposal could make funding decisions more political instead of focusing solely on qualifications.
If you have a kid, whether you're sending your kid to childcare or you're sending your kid to a Head Start program, I want to make sure that child is safe. You do not want federal grant making to be based on whether somebody is a Democrat or Republican.
The proposed rule would also prohibit federal grant money from being used to support certain diversity, equity, and inclusion activities that violate federal anti-discrimination laws. Supporters of the proposal say the changes would ensure grants are consistent with federal law, agency priorities, and the national interest. Critics argue the language gives the executive branch too much discretion over funding decisions. Ryan believes the proposal, if finalized, will face legal challenges.
I think this will go to court. People want to make sure the best person that can do the job gets the funding.
Now, the public comment period has ended and the Office of Management and Budget is aiming to finalize the rule by October 1st. Connor McAvoy, KREM 2 News.
Switch gears here briefly and get our first look at the forecast at 5 o'clock with meteorologist Cody Proctor joining us in the Outdoor Weather Center. Cody, kind of a cooler start to the day today with some cloud cover, but things this week are still on that trend of warming up.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're expecting, Mark. There's still a possibility we're going to get up into those 90s as this week continues. And for some folks today, they did get up into those 90s, just not so much here in Spokane and in Coeur d'Alene from what we have seen right now. We are currently at 85 degrees at this time. That's pretty much right on the money when it comes to our seasonal average right now for this time of year as that continues to trickle up. Not quite as warm as what we were initially expecting because, as you mentioned, we had those clouds and that kept us from really feeling the heat this afternoon. Winds are coming out of the east-northeast at 17 miles per hour, so a little breezy at this moment. Around our region, you can see some of our temperatures right now. We are currently at 77 in Sandpoint at this very moment, 88 in Ritzville, still at 93 in Omak. It's a big change when it comes to our temperatures for some. We're a little bit cooler here, but over in central Washington, they are currently warmer from just 24 hours ago. We had those clouds linger on for us for this afternoon. Now, as we head into tonight, the wind has picked up out here. Just knocked over the cover for our monitor. We'll get that cleaned up. But our grilling forecast as we head into the rest of this evening should be seeing some decent conditions, but that wind might be a bit of an issue. As we head into tonight, tomorrow morning should see some relatively clear skies starting off in the low 60s for us. We are expecting high about 91 degrees tomorrow with gradually clear skies. What else I'm tracking in my forecast, I'll have coming up later.
Talk to you then, Cody. Thank you. When it comes to talking about fentanyl and overdose prevention, some local teens are choosing to lead the conversation themselves. Today, they put their creativity to work on a downtown mural designed to reach their community. KREM 2's Christian Garza has their story.
Paint, brushes, and a blank wall all became tools for prevention today in downtown Spokane as local youth artists teamed up to create a mural to amplify a message of hope and encourage conversation surrounding overdose prevention.
If you walked or drove down Post Street today,
and it's just a really cool thing to be able to be a part of.
you would have seen Mars, a teenage artist, and her peers hard at work bringing not only a beautiful painting to downtown for everyone to see.
I feel like there's a little bit lacking of community down here, and I feel like this is very important for downtown Spokane especially.
But a message as well. It's better to be safe than sorry.
In a big city like Spokane, where drugs are very big, to always be prepared for like an overdose, because they really are everywhere and they're very common.
Hannah Bettino and Rose Honey helped make this mural a possibility through a collaboration between the Friends for Life campaign and the Hilliard Mural Apprenticeship Program. The campaign is funded by the Washington State Healthcare Authority, and it aims to teach people about Narcan, naloxone, and other prevention skills with a focus on youth prevention. The Washington State Department of Health reports as of mid-April this year, there have been over 60 opioid and fentanyl-related deaths in Spokane County alone, with hundreds more across the state.
Everyone deserves to live, and everyone can be a friend for life.
Bettino says while the mural depicts young adults leaning on each other through healthy relationships, she believes the takeaway is the same for everyone who sees it, whether they need help or not.
Using art specifically is such a really vibrant way to put something in the community that doesn't use a lot of words to speak to that, but uses imagery to celebrate care and connection.
This is the first major project for the apprenticeship program during its pilot season. Honey says this mural is not only meant to end stigma surrounding overdose prevention tools, but also it will give these artists valuable experience paired with a life lesson in responsibility.
Like my heart is bursting. I have chills right now just thinking about them telling their friends about this campaign and this information, and then the amount of conversations that will be talked about this.
If you wanted to check out the mural for yourself, it's located right here in the alleyway between Main and Riverside Avenue. In downtown Spokane, Christian Garza, KREM 2 News.
Coming up, as the Spokane Library faces a budget shortfall, they're asking for bridge funding to avoid service cuts before the end of the year. Everything we know coming up in just 3 minutes.